Welcome to Let's Talk Hormones with Carolyn Zallmeyer. Take some time with me this evening to learn how to age healthier and live happier. Today we'll be discussing how hormones can affect all aspects of your health and well-being. I've been specializing in women's health and hormones for over 28 years and focusing in on bioidentical hormone therapy for both men and women for the past several years. We talk hormones, we don't talk sex, we talk health, aging, wellness, and relationships, and well, maybe a little bit of sex. So let's get this party started. Good evening. Welcome to Let's Talk Hormones with Carolyn Zallmeyer. I'm so excited to start our very first show, one of many, where we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to learn a few things, go over everything that's related to hormones, nutrition, optimizing your life so that you can feel your best. We'll be talking about all kinds of new research that's out. I have a practice. It's called LowTE Florida in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I specialize in bioidentical hormones. With our talk, we're going to be inviting guests in. We hope to have Dr. Gary Donovitz, the founder of BioTE Medical, possibly Dr. De Silva. We'll have representatives from compounding pharmacies so we can learn more about that. We'll have all kinds of different things, and we also have call-in. So if you want to call in and if you have any questions throughout the show, you're welcome to call in. The call-in line number is 888-565-1470. So if you'd like to call, we'd love to hear from you. There's a lot of myths about hormone replacement therapy, and we're going to be dispelling some of those myths and talking about some of the effects of hormones on our bodies. Our bodies are very complicated, and the hormones that they supply a lot of good functions throughout the body. Estrogen itself has over 400 functions in the body, while testosterone has over 100. And as time goes by, our bodies start to lose those hormones, and with that, we can feel all kinds of different things like low energy, maybe some weight gain around the middle, low sex drive, low sexual satisfaction, maybe some mood swings, anxiety, depression, and such. So we'll be talking about all those things, going in a little deeply, more deeply in future shows on the individual hormones and what they are representing in your body. How did I get into this? I started off as a nurse, and why did I become a nurse? My great Aunt Edna, when I was growing up, she used to come to the farm where I grew up, and she used to tell me all these fabulous stories about how wonderful it was to be a nurse. So there was never any question in my mind as to what I was going to be doing when I grew up. So with that, she used to tell us all these wonderful stories about being nurses to the stars because she was working in Beverly Hills. When she graduated nursing school in Chicago back in the 1920s, her and her girlfriend hopped into a Model T Ford and drove cross-country to California to become nurses to the stars. So I grew up with all these fabulous stories about what it was like to be a nurse, and just knew that was going to be my path. And with that, with my career, I've actually had a few brushes with greatness. I've met Dr. Oz, tried to convince him to have me on his show. I'm still waiting for that phone call. Haven't gotten that back. But maybe now he'll see me on this and he'll give me the call. I've worked with Suzanne Summers on several projects, and that was an absolute blast. She's absolutely delightful in person, just as she is on TV, and she's tiny. I look like a big old giant next to her. So once I graduated nursing school, I started out at Miami Broward Community College, went there for a little bit, and I met a girl that was working for the transplant team for University of Miami. And I learned about this position that was open to work as a kidney renal perfusionist with the transplant team. So I actually worked my way through school delivering kidneys throughout the United States. So I was traveling with my kidney with its machine and my book bag and studying on the planes. While I did that, I transferred to Miami-Dade Community College and then to FIU after that. And at FIU, I attained my master's degree, my nurse practitioner certificate, and also my bachelor's. But then after that, I ended up teaching at FIU as well as at FAU. And then most recently, I was teaching at Duke University in their nurse leadership program. Duke and Johnson & Johnson put a program together for advanced practice nurses to learn more about the business and the marketing of running a clinic for community clinics. So I worked on that, on the development of it, and then actually taught with it. So BioTE is a company I'm affiliated with out of Texas, and how I got there was an interesting thing. When I first came out of school, I worked with a physician that had a huge practice, and I was sharing a desk with him, and I was like a little sponge. I just needed to learn more and more about what he was doing, his treatment protocols and such, so that I could feel comfortable with what I was doing. So as I was reviewing the charts in his office, I would notice that with the menopausal patients, many times it would say psych referral, psych referral, psych referral. Finally, I went to him with a stack of charts, and I said, all these ladies can't be crazy. And he says, oh, yes, they are. They're sweating, they're crying, they're screaming, they're miserable. They need to get their lives in order. And so I said, can I have those patients? And he said, God bless you, go forward. You take them, I'll go deliver babies. And I said, perfect. So I started really fine-tuning my prescribing skills for menopausal patients. And with that, I was, back in the day, I was using synthetic hormones. But I was getting fabulous results from the patients, that it was life-changing. They were calling me, telling me that they felt better, their hot sweats had been resolved, and that they're getting along better with their partner, with their husband, and their husband liked them a little bit better. And so getting that positive information back from them kept me going. And so I really was fine-tuning my prescribing skills and actually teaching it. And then in 2002, there was a huge study, the Women's Health Initiative. And with that, it kind of blew the synthetic hormones out of the water, because it found that synthetic hormones, they actually had to stop the study. The results were so bad. But they were showing that synthetic hormones showed an increase in heart attack, stroke, deep vein thrombosis, breast cancer, and even an 81% increase in Alzheimer's. So we learned that we had to do something different. But I was nervous because a lot of people then didn't want to prescribe the synthetic hormones. And we have made so many women feel well that I felt like if they all came off at the same time, that we might have a civil war here. So we needed to do something to help these women feel well and live good lives. So I had heard about bioidentical hormones, but it's not something that they teach in medical school or even in nursing school. Maybe they do now, but this is a while ago. And so I decided it was up to me to learn this, and because I knew we needed to have a safer way to deliver the hormones. So I researched out some of the nation's greats, and I actually traveled and studied with them. And I got so excited when I was learning about not only the feel-good benefits of optimizing your hormones, but the health benefits of having your hormones optimized. And there's hundreds and hundreds of studies, which we reviewed, that really showed that having your hormones optimized as we age really gives you a better old age and a better chance at having a long and healthier life. So we had the feel-good effects and the long-term health effects that were fabulous, but no one was teaching me how to dose. Everybody was using creams, and you put a little dab here or a little ribbon or a pearl, and all these were so vague. I just really didn't feel like it was very scientific or really even good medicine. And so I wasn't excited about actually putting it into practice, because I wanted to be able to give my patients the right hormone, which was bioidentical, and the right delivery system, the safest way to get the hormones into the body, and the right amount. And so I traveled, and I studied under 3 different experts, and I still was frustrated. And I was speaking with a colleague of mine out in Utah, and he said, you have to go to Texas and study it with Dr. Gary Donovitz. Okay, what do I have to lose? I pack up and I go. And Dr. Donovitz, this is him right here. He wrote this book. It's a very good book that you can get for free off our website. I studied with him, and this is over 6 years ago. And he really filled in the gaps of knowledge and really made me feel confident and comfortable with what I was doing without treating hormonal patients. So I trained with him and became the first LowTE provider here in Florida. And it was really an interesting time because people just weren't familiar with it. And so it was like starting from ground one, teaching people what are bioidentical hormones, what do you expect with bioidentical hormones, and how are we going to do it in the most safe manner? Because there's a lot of myths out there that that hormones are bad. And hormones can't be bad. They're what's made me a girl, you a boy, they're very important during development and puberty and reproduction. So hormones aren't bad. It's just that we want the right hormones in the right amount. And so with his system, with the LowTE method, I've learned how to actually personalize the dosing for every single patient, utilizing for their labs as well as their medical history. We have an algorithm on the computer where I can actually put in the patient's age, their weight, if they smoke or not, because women that smoke cigarettes burn through their estradiol much quicker than those that don't. For men, we put in their exercise level, because if they're exercising heavy, they're going to burn through the pellets quicker. We use a little pellet system that goes underneath the skin on the backside, and as the blood passes by it, it picks up the little micro pieces of it. So then we put into the computer, we also put the hormone levels, certain thyroid levels, because a low thyroid or a sluggish thyroid can mimic low hormones, as well as vice versa. So we don't want to just fix one and still have you not feeling your best. So we'll optimize the thyroid at the same time as the hormones if needed. Also, vitamin D we found is so critical for your bones, your teeth, your mood, for prevention of a boatload of cancers. So we know that's critical, so we want to optimize that as well. We also look at B12, and we put in other information, different kidney functions, whether the woman has had a hysterectomy, breast cancer, if you're on thyroid medication, if you're on any type of hormones, birth control or hormone replacement therapy, that all gets factored in. If you've had uterine fibroids, if you have a concern about facial hair or acne, we can put that in, and that adjusts the dose as well. So with this dosing site, we're able to populate a fabulous little, kind of like a recipe to start our protocol. So once we have you come in for the consultation, we go over your labs, we go over your medical history, and we can draw your labs right there at the office, and then we'll have your results back the very next day. And with that, we're able to put all that together and come up with a starting plan for you. Then we go over it with you, because you're the captain of your ship, and you get to make your decisions as to what you want to do and what you don't want to do. And so we go over everything. We go line by line with your blood test. When was the last time somebody did that for you? You'll find out whether your red blood cells and white blood cells are healthy, if you have an anemia or something else going on. How about your chemistry, your kidney, heart, liver enzymes, your sugar? We'll go over that. Your thyroid levels. And we look a little deeper than traditional medicine tends to just look at the TSH. We look at the free T3, which is a circulating thyroid that actually helps with your mental clarity and your energy. And that's what we want to optimize. Just because hormone levels are in the normal range doesn't mean they're optimal. We want to take you to a certain level, and that's what we've been trained to do. And then the vitamin D if you need correction on that. So we'll actually make a printout for you where you'll know exactly which hormones your body will benefit from based on your science. So it'll tell us exactly how many milligrams of testosterone you would benefit from. For females, how much estradiol. And then if you still have your uterus, how much progesterone to write the prescription for. If your thyroid's a little bit sluggish, it'll actually tell us exactly what to write the prescription for the thyroid medicine. And we use desiccated thyroid, and that's T3 and T4, because your body has to convert T4 into T3 to utilize it, and so we help it out by giving it what it needs. Also, if your thyroid is sluggish, the computer will probably recommend that you need iodine, and over 95% of the Americans are deficient in iodine, and it was removed from our salt and bread years ago, so most of us don't get enough iodine in our daily diet. I'm going to take a little drink here. It's just water. I was hoping it'd be something better. And then also it'll tell us if you need vitamin D, exactly how many IUs you should be taking per day instead of guessing at the vitamin shop. It'll also tell us about your probiotics, your omega-3s, and just really give us a good starting block as to where we can go to get you feeling your best. The pellet system we use, it can take, the first... Once it's inserted, people may notice something in the first week, but it can take up to 6 weeks, depending on how depleted you are and your activity level, till you start feeling your best. The pellet system we use has actually been around for over 80 years. The first research study that we can find is 1939. I first ran into the pellet system when I was training in surgery in Memphis back in 1979. We did a hysterectomy on a woman. Before she woke up, we rolled her over and put pellets in her backside so that when she woke up, she wouldn't feel so bad. So it's been used here in the United States. It's very, very safe. It's not something newfangled and dangerous. But we have hundreds and hundreds of studies showing the safety and the efficacy of the hormone pellets. We use basically for women estradiol and testosterone, and for men just testosterone. And it is bioidentical. And what that term actually means is the actual chemical molecule, the octagons and lines from chemistry, actually what's in our product is exactly the same as what our bodies naturally produce. So your body's just kind of convinced that you're naturally producing more and more hormone up to the level where you were maybe 10, 15 years ago. We're not going to take you over the top where you're going to want to beat people up or anything like that, but we will get you feeling your best. Some of the things people notice when their hormones start to decline is the fatigue. That's probably the number one thing that brings people into my office, is just feeling tired around 4 o'clock or so, or in the evening. I remember before I optimized my hormones, my main goal was to go home, feed and walk my dogs, pour a mug of wine, put my jammies on, and hit the couch. I was just exhausted, and I was making excuses for myself. And I had a patient that I was speaking with yesterday that said the same thing, that he was making all these excuses for himself as to why he was so tired at night. But it was just not a good tired. It was just too tired to do anything. Then after my hormones were optimized with the pellet therapy, it was about a month after I went to training and received my pellet, I realized that when I got home, I wanted to do things. I wanted to go out. I wanted to do that list of fun things at home that I want to do, which I don't know if everybody thinks it's fun, but I like cleaning my garage, and I just was able to do all the things that I wanted to do at home. So for me, the hormone optimization was major. It was life-changing. I got my energy back. I got my good feelings. I just felt more like my old self. I felt happier, had a little spring in my step, got my sex drive back. Sexual satisfaction is much better. It's like you think about it a little bit more, and then the fireworks are brighter when you do have it. So that's a good thing. The beauty of the pellet system that we use is it's not a roller coaster effect. With any other type of delivery system, meaning pills, patches, shots, creams, you're on a roller coaster. The hormone levels go up, then they come down, and before your next treatment, then they go up and down. With our pellet system, the hormones go up, and then we hold them steady for 3 to 5 months for women and 4 to 6 months for men. So it's different for everybody as to how soon you'll burn through your pellets, depending on your cardiac output. It's not time release, it's cardiac output, meaning when your blood pressure rises and your heart's going a little faster, you're picking up more, which is a good thing, because when you're under stress or if you're exercising, you'll get more of a benefit. You know, after 50, it's almost impossible to build muscle. You can lift weights all day, all night. You may be able to maintain, but you're not going to build. And with the testosterone coming in, you're actually able to build again. I've had men that came in, and they look good, and they got their treatment. They come back 6 months later, and they're wearing these tight T-shirts with their guns. And so it's kind of fun to see that the guys that really work out get a good benefit. I have guys that do extreme sports, and they say that they're able to keep up with the young guys. I have one male attorney that really talked about the mental focus, you know, because as we age, it seems like a little fog comes over us, and we're not thinking as clearly as we used to. We're not snapping, you know, we're not, you know, as sharp as we used to be. And I've had many patients tell me that once we optimize our hormone, it's like the fog lifts, and they can think clearer, they can focus on a project and get it done. So there's so many aspects, so many different aspects of your life that hormones affect. And it's different for everybody. We have a little checkoff sheet that when you come to our office and you're filling out your paperwork, that you check off what your symptoms are, what bothers you the most. For women, it may be hot flashes or night sweats. It may be anxiety, depression. It may just be that you're just not feeling your best, that you're kind of feeling like you lost your mojo. Sex drive, sexual satisfaction, we talk about that. There's a whole bunch of different things, and we'll go over those more in depth later on. But I feel very fortunate that, number one, I get to share this all with you, but I have a really fabulous practice where I love to go to work in the morning. I have a beautiful office. You should come see it. If you want to go on Facebook, I think there's a little tour of it. And I get to, every day, give people hope and then actually make it happen. I get to tell them, yes, you will feel better, and then I make it happen. And we have our systems down where we can give you quality care in a quick amount of time, meaning you come in for your consultation. If you want to go forward, we can draw your blood and actually pellet you the very next day. Because usually when patients come in, they want to feel better now. And I have the saying, and they won't let me put it on my business cards, but I think that life's too short to feel like crap. So we got to get you feeling better sooner rather than later. The way I look at it is we don't know what our end point in life is. It could be here. We could get squished out here on the road, or it could be 50 years down the road. The way I look at it is whatever's left, I don't want it to be so-so. I don't want to just get up and go to work and come home and drink wine and lay on the couch. I want it to be fabulous. I want to go out. I want to see people. I want to chat. I want to have a good life. And with my hormones being optimized, I feel like I can do that. Another interesting thing I've noticed with my hormones is when my hormones are optimized, I feel like I can handle whatever the world gives me. Whatever comes on, I can handle it. When my hormones are not optimized, I react inappropriately. I'll say things I shouldn't say. Or I may not say what I should say. So I just don't handle things the best way. And so I know for some people that when our hormones start to decline, we start to react inappropriately. Maybe we're a little bit testy. Maybe somebody at work might say something. When I've worked with Suzanne Summers, one of her favorite things is the 7 dwarves of menopause: itchy, bitchy, sleepy, dopey, psycho, the works. And so whenever I start feeling like that, I know that I need to get my pellet. We have a lot of fun things to talk about in the next several weeks. You know, we're going to be on every Thursday night at 7 p.m. And we're going to go through all the different hormones, all the different nutraceuticals that we love and can really make you feel better. Because we found with the LowTE method that if we can optimize your nutrients as well as your thyroid, we're going to get a better result with your hormones. So we really want you to learn about it so you're comfortable with it. And one way to do that is to go onto our website and order this book, and we'll send it to you for free. It's written by Dr. Donovitz, and I absolutely love it because it really goes through why we do what we do. Our website is LowTEFlorida.com. LOW, T as in Tom, E as in Edward, Florida spelled out, .com. You can go on there, or if you want to send us an email, you can email us at info@lowteflorida.com. If you'd like to schedule to come in for a consultation, our phone number is 954-791-4498. And we are having seminars, prospective patient seminars at our office. We did one last night, and then we have one scheduled again for Wednesday, December 12th at our office at 6:30 p.m. And you can come here and learn all about bioidentical hormones and ask your questions. And if you'd like to go forward, we can actually draw your blood that night and get you rolling. But if you would like to talk about it, you can always give our office a call. We're open from 8 to 6 every day, and we would love to get you feeling your best. Relationships and hormones. There you go. We say with the LowTE method that it's protective for the heart, which the studies are showing that it does protect the heart. It does protect your bones. Testosterone is actually a bone builder for those with osteopenia and osteoporosis. And it does help with, it's actually supportive for the breast. The studies are showing that it's supportive for the breast and the prostate. And it's also good for relationships. And so with that, if you're not communicating well with your partner or things aren't that good, maybe both of you might come in. Because we talk about optimizing our hormones, like within our body, and balancing our hormones, but it's also a balancing act with your partner. If we have one person that's optimized and the other one's still sitting in the recliner with the remote control and doesn't want to get up and go do things, that could be a problem. Because men go through this just as well as women do, and I've seen it in my practice. And what the men notice usually is just a lot of times you want to think ED and LowTE, and they really, that's the last thing that they'll notice. Usually it's the fatigue, the brain fog, just not feeling themselves, not feeling like doing anything, loss of sex drive, just more comfortable sitting in the couch with the remote control, maybe a beer and watching TV, and not walking the dog, not doing the job. So men and women do benefit from hormone replacement therapy. I've been pelleting my brothers for 5-6 years now. Everybody gets a pellet, and because I like happy people, and it really does help with your mood. We are going to be having the seminar at the office, and we hope you can join us for that. We are talking to our patients every day and hearing fabulous things about how wonderful they feel after their hormones have been optimized. Because after we have you come in for the consultation, we draw your blood and we pellet you. We have you come back 6 weeks later because we want to check in with you and find out on that list of symptoms that you checked off, how many of those things have been resolved and what hasn't been and what can we do, and we may need to tweak some things. But with the personalized dosing site that we use with our BioTE system, about 95% of the time the dosing has been spot on. But every once in a while there's somebody that's, training for a marathon and burning through it quicker or going through some stressful things, and so we can actually tweak it because a dosing site tends to be more conservative than over the top. And with that, we are checking in with you, and we do invite our patients to call us anytime with any questions or concerns. But I hope that you can join me next week for this show. We're going to be on again at 7 o'clock on Thursday nights, and I'll have less of the jitters and maybe be a little bit more comfortable. But we're really happy to be here, and I hope to see you at the office for either a consultation or for our seminar. So if you'd like to, no calls today, maybe next time. So join us next week, and you can see us on Facebook. Like us on Facebook, LowTE Florida. Check out our website. We have some good videos on there. And so we will see you next week. And I'm supposed to keep talking. Bioidentical hormones. Let's talk hormones with Carolyn. I hope you join us again. It was my pleasure to be with you, and I appreciate your time. Thank you for listening. It's my mission to help men and women live their best lives, and I hope that today's show gave you just a little motivation to do so. If you'd like to learn more about bioidentical hormones and if they're right for you, please call my office to schedule a consultation, 954-791-4498, or visit our website, lowteflorida.com. See you next week.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors.